Hello everyone, in this video we'll study about muscle contraction. The process of muscle contraction is known as excitation, contraction, coupling. So muscles have their contractile unit in them which are known as sarcomere. I am drawing a very simple diagram of sarcomere just to see what is in there and how does it helps in contraction of a muscle. So the sarcomere have the thin filaments and the thick filaments. So these thin filaments and thick filaments work together to bring about the muscle contraction. The thin filament are the actin and the thick filament are myosin. So the first thing that is required for a muscle contraction is impulse. As soon as this impulse reaches a muscle, it causes the release of calcium ions from the sarcoplasmic reticulum. These calcium ions released, they bind to troponin present in the thin filament along with actin. So the thin filament have troponin, actin and also another substance known as tropomyosin. I'll later explain the purpose of tropomyosin. Now, as soon as this calcium binds to troponin, it causes the conformational change in the actin filament and formation of cross bridge. So this conformational change leads to the formation of cross bridge. So what a cross bridge is? So like I told you, the tropomyosin has another purpose, which is it covers the actin-myosin binding site on the actin. So the tropomyosin over here, let me write it down. So the tropomyosin over here, it covers the actin-myosin binding site, which is present on actin when your muscle is inactive. That means there is no muscle contraction going on. Now, when this calcium binds to troponin, it kind of moves the tropomyosin and the myosin head binds to actin. This is known as cross bridge. So this is the conformational change that is brought about by calcium. Now, because our muscle contraction is energy requiring process, so the ATP is required. ATP binds with the myosin head to give it energy for the muscle contraction. So this is a very simple diagram of actin filament, let's say, and the myosin head. So as you can see, the myosin head is attached to actin. This is known as cross bridge. Now when ATP is binding to the myosin head, it is causing the breaking of cross bridge. Now the myosin head is detached from actin filament. This is known as breaking of cross bridge. Moving further, now ATP gives energy when it hydrolyzes. So the next step will going to be let me just change the color. The next step will be the ATP hydrolysis. ATP will be broken down into ADP plus PI. Now, as soon as this happens, this myosin head will have positional change. The position of the myosin head will going to be changed and it will kind of extend itself. So this extension of myosin head is called as caulking of myosin head. So this will going to be somewhat like this. It will going to move backwards. This is known as caulking of myosin head. Now this ATP is there, but it is hydrolyzed. It still has this ATP in it. So it is giving it a lot of energy now because it is broken. The ATP has broken down. Now we say that this is the position 2 of myosin head. If I say the first position when the cross bridge is forming, it is the position 1. So this will be the position 2. Now the next step will be the release of P. The extra P, the extra phosphate is gone now. So there will be another change in the position of myosin head. And that will be that this myosin head will attach to a new location on the actin filament. And we say that it is position 3. I'm mentioning these positions just to make it easy for you to understand. So now the myosin head is attached to another location on the actin filament when the P is released. Now from the position 3, the P is gone, but ADP is still there. Now the another step will be the release of ADP. When the ADP is also released from the myosin head, it will going to come back to the beginning position. That means position number 1. And this step is known as power stroke. So power stroke is when myosin head is going from position 3 to position 1. Along with it, pulling the actin filament towards the contraction direction, towards the center. Okay? This power stroke is kind of important to bring about the muscle contraction. It pulls the actin filament, along with which the sarcomere is pulled, causing the muscle fiber to shorten. So I'm writing here the position 1. Let's say it is the beginning position of the myosin head. And the intermittent position is where there is caulking of myosin head is going on, the position 2 where ATP is breaking. And third is the position 3, right? The final position. So let's also write this down. Position 3 is the final position from where the myosin head will return to position 1. And this causes the beginning of another cycle of muscle contraction. And this process continues to happen till the time there is impulse. Till this process stops. When the impulse stops, this causes the stopping of release of calcium ions and the process of muscle contraction stops. I hope this video is helpful. We will be back with more videos. Bye bye. Take care.